right, here we go. It's Puma Perl. She's got her 4th book of poetry. People, she's got 4 books on poetry. That's crazy. I don't even have one. I don't read books anymore. Wikipedia, social media. Her next book of poetry will be out in 2014. She produces Puma Perl's Pandemonium series, which features poetry and rock and roll. That's some crazy shit. I love it already. People, welcome your next host for the next hour, Puma Perl. Come on, give her a clap.
Thank you. So I changed what I was doing like 3 times, and then I thought about love. So it's called Doing Something, or maybe it's called Doing Nothing. Because she was standing on 14th Street doing absolutely nothing. Crosstown buses passed her by. She didn't drink, she didn't smoke. Her cell phone battery was dead. And she looked across the street, saw him come out of the tunnel. His eyes, his face were doing nothing. His face, his leather jacket, shades, the tattoo around his neck, all that she remembered, and she stood there doing nothing. She stood there on 14th Street doing absolutely nothing, and she watched him cross the street. And his face was doing nothing, and his eyes were doing nothing, and he walked right up to her and said, "Do you still think of me sometimes?" And she looked back up at him and said, "I think of everyone sometimes." And her face was doing nothing, and her eyes were doing nothing, but her breath was doing something, and her heart was doing something. "Let's get coffee," he suggested. And she took a beat to answer. Willed her voice, her face, her heart. "Please stop doing something, just do absolutely nothing." So they walked to Dunkin' Donuts. And they sat there drinking coffee, saying absolutely nothing, till it was time for him to leave. And their faces doing nothing, their eyes were doing nothing, their lips did a little something. And she stood there on 14th Street, watching him go down to the tunnel. And she stood there on 14th Street doing absolutely nothing. Crosstown buses passed her by, and she did absolutely nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Puma Perl. Come on, people. That made me a little bit hot in my nether.